All right. Welcome to the Herb Man T podcast. I am your host, Herb Man T. I'm feeling real good. All right, feeling real good. Today is episode 33. And what I'm going to be doing is talking about screenshots or answering questions that were commenting under some of my videos on my social media platforms. And what's going to happen is I'm going to end up putting timestamps in the description. So by the time you're watching this, you should see timestamps below uh, to topics that may interest you. All right. If you want to support this podcast, head over to patreon.com/HerbManT, patreon.com/HerbManT, and become a Patreon member. All right, let's get to it. So first up, one herb I have never considered before is corn. I amazed at how much it helps with, and I have you to thank for highlighting it. So thank you for commenting this and showing that what I am doing is helping people. Wonderful. All right. So what about getting rid of urinary stones such as struvite stones? So I would treat it the same as the calcium stones and use herbs for kidneys. Use even I would still use the couch grass and the hydrangea root, hydrangea, the hydrangea root that could uh, eliminate the calcium stones. So still you're using herbs like your parsley's or uva earth tea leaves to stimulate the kidneys function as well as to clean the kidneys function. So herbs for the kidneys as well as herbs for the adrenal glands. But importantly, you have to make sure the individual, in this case, it's probably a dog, is getting the proper nutrition or hydration. So dogs are omnivores. If the dog can eat fruits, if the dog can eat grapes and berries, definitely get the dog on that. That would be a definite plus. So, but diet is important, and I'll just mention this from here on to the end of the video. When consuming herbs, you want to make sure number one is diet. What are you eating? All right. So fruits, berries, and melons is what you want to consume. They are hydrating as well as astringent. Hydration will work on inspiring the cells to function properly. Astringency will help to tone and tighten the tissues or tone and tighten the cells to help eliminate any type of waste that could be blocking them from functioning properly. So whenever I suggest what type of herbs to use for X, Y, and Z, you definitely want to make sure you are combining that with the proper foods, which are fruits, berries, and melons. Hi, do you have this herb in a tea or extract? Is using oils to get the stuff out of the herb? All right, no, I don't have it in a tea or extract. I don't sell any herbs. If you become a client of mine, I will recommend a website for you to go to that sells pre-made herbal formulas. And if you're talking about extracting herbs or making them into a tincture or a glycerite, the menstruum or liquid you would use to extract the herbal constituents or herbal ingredients would be a alcohol or a vegetable glycerin. Can you tell me where I can buy all these herbs from? Like, where do you recommend? I'm not sure where you live. If you live in the United States, you could search for go on your search engine on whatever web browser you choose to use and type in bulk herb store, or just go to your local health food store and you will be able to find one. Thank you. You are a blessing. Thank you for the amazing work you do. You are welcome. What's a good detox bath? A good detox bath. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I've heard of people doing oat baths, but I would think if you're talking about removing toxins, you would add some lymphatic herbs in there, such as calendula, maybe some red clover, but I haven't looked much into detox baths. Although when you're talking about moving lymph in other ways besides consuming herbs or consuming fruits, you have dry brushing. You can look into brushing. What is a cleaver? What is a cleaver? Cleavers herb. So it's actually Cleavers herb, and it's a herb used to promote kidney function, promote as well as promote the movement of your lymph. Another question about so where you get all of those from, and that would be dependent upon where you stay. Keep this info coming, sir. Thank you. I would put these questions on the screen, but I'm not sure if these individuals would want me to show their faces. I'm gonna give you your flowers now. I love and appreciate you, brother. Hey, salute right back at you, and thank you for the love. Please, what can cure fatty liver? All right, so whenever you're talking about fats, you're dealing with the lymphatic system. So you want to make sure the lymphatic system is functioning properly. One way you could do that is start to consume fruits, berries, and melons. And ultimately, you want to get those kidneys online and filtering properly. And how you do that is, again, the fruits, berries, and melons. You want to have that be the bulk of your diet. And of course, herbs. So you would want herbs for the kidneys as well as your endocrine system. Specifically, the adrenal glands would be an area to focus on. Some examples of herbs that can benefit the kidneys would be dandelion leaf, burdock root, cleavers, corn silk, couch grass. Some examples of herbs that can benefit the adrenal glands would be ashwagandha root, suma root, rhodiola root, schisandra berry, and they tend to have an herbal action in common, which will be adaptogen. So herbs that can be used to benefit the adrenal glands would have an action known as adaptogen, and herbs that can benefit the kidneys have an action known as diuretic. And that's on one end, so lymphatic system. And on the other end, you want to make sure you are promoting the liver's function, or herbs that can be used to promote the liver's function. And these tend to be under the umbrella or the name known as hepatics. So you have blessed thistle that can be used to promote the liver's function. You have milk thistle that can be used to regenerate liver tissue. You have Oregon grapefruit that can be used to tone or strengthen the liver. And when focusing on bringing balance to the liver itself, understand that there are other organs that can influence the liver's function. So the liver is a part of the digestive system. So you want to bring balance to your digestive system. The liver also creates about 80% of the body's cholesterol. So cholesterol tends to rise up when there is a lot of stress going on in the body. And that can tie back to those adrenal glands. So a lot of fats, of course, the body isn't utilizing its fats properly. And again, you will want herbs for the digestive system, of course, herbs for the liver, as well as herbs for the lymphatic system to start to correct the problem. Saying all these herbs online is a mouthful. If you want to work one-on-one with me to help reverse the problem, visit my website, www.herbmant.com. And the T is TEA. I think it's going across the screen right now, but I am not sure. Yeah, there it is. Herbmant.com. Because what I would offer is not a bunch of individual herbs that you would have to go and find, and I would guide you on blending them all together, etc. No, I just send you to a website that has pre-made herbal formulas already. Nice, simple, and easy. I just say, take this, stay on this path, and fix it by this time. Approximately this time, because you could have a very weak genetic constitution and it may take you longer than someone who has a stronger genetic constitution. So it really depends on the level of the weakness that you have, or if you have any hardened lymph nodes, or if your kidneys are extremely weak, or you have extremely weak adrenal glands, etc. So the body, our bodies are unique in that way, that no one body is exactly the same, but the approach you would use to healing them are all the same, and that is fruits, berries, and melons, using herbs, and staying positive, eliminating stress from your day-to-day life as well. All right, what about short-sightedness? So whether it's short-sightedness, whether it's cataracts, whether it's glaucoma, whether it's macular degeneration, the eyes will always want blood flowing to them, lymph moving away from them, and nerves being, I thought I was trying to think of something cool. Nerves being activated in them. All right. So basically, there is blood, there is lymph, and there is nerves. All right. And you want to make sure all these components are functioning within the eye. And of course, there's connective tissue as well. So you want blood going to the eyes. And to do that, you will want to have herbs that will promote that function. And some herbal examples that will bring blood to the eyes would be ginkgo leaf and gotu kola. You also have rosemary. And really, these herbs will bring blood to the head area. So again, eye issues, brain problems, these herbs will work as well, because why? You're bringing blood to that area, nutrition to that area, and then to move lymph or the waste out of that area. So when the blood comes in, the cells get excited and heal, begin to heal. Hold on, I want to put my music on. My chill music. There we go. My 12 minutes in and forgot the music. Tripping. And then also you want to, again, moving lymph out, and to move the lymph out, the main organ to focus on will be your kidneys. Some great herbs or strong herbs for the kidneys will be uva ursa leaf, cordyceps mushrooms, hydrangea root, couch grass, also known as dog grass, marshmallow root, and many more. Now, again, when focusing on moving lymph, yes, you want herbs for the kidneys. You also want herbs for the adrenal glands. The adrenal glands controls the kidneys. The adrenal glands influence your kidneys. And those would be those adaptogens that I mentioned earlier. Now, in taking it a step further, the adrenal glands are a part of your endocrine system. So bringing balance to the endocrine system with an extra focus on the adrenal glands would be the best approach. So herbs to help promote the herbs that will help promote your endocrine system's function as a whole would be one, chaste berry, which is great for the pituitary gland. And then you have herbs like schisandra berry and licorice root that will promote the function of your hypothalamus, pituitary, and adrenal glands. And then, of course, you have herbs for the thyroid. So if it's hyper, you will want herbs that can reduce that function, reduce the thyroid's function. And those, an example of that would be lemon balm. And if it's hypo, you will want herbs to increase the thyroid's function. And that could be bladderwrack or ashwagandha root. And then herbs for the nerves. Now, gotu kola can be used to inspire nervous system function or nerve function, but also skullcap is a great one. And St. John's wort is another good one as well. So when talking about short-sightedness and really reversing any eye problem, you want blood in or food in. You want lymph out or waste out. You want to make sure you're activating the nerves. Now, lastly, I know I slipped in connective tissue. Whenever you're having a connective tissue problem, varicose veins, spinal disc problems, you want to focus on the parathyroid. And that parathyroid gland is sitting right there in the endocrine system. So I still haven't found a herb that has a specific link to the parathyroid's function, but some that are in my mind that could potentially inspire the parathyroid's function will be horsetail herb and gotu kola. Now, there is a such thing as a parathyroid glandular, which is basically a gland or some tissues from an animal that can help inspire your parathyroid gland to function until it gets back online. So just to recap, you want to fix the eye problem, you want blood in, you want lymph out, you want to make sure the nerves are functioning properly, and of course you want to make sure connective tissue is strong and well. What would you recommend for a spinal fluid leak? What would you do for a cyst on the lower spine? Yeah, so spinal fluid leak, again, it could be leaking due to the structure. I wouldn't say rubbery part, but the structure of the disc, because I'm assuming it's leaking from that disc, it has a jello-like substance in it. So it's leaking from the disc due to a connective tissue weakness, or the structure has been damaged and now it's leaking out. So I would definitely go after the connective tissue. Again, the parathyroid, looking at a parathyroid glandular, but also using herbs that can strengthen bone and connective tissue. Again, the horsetail herb, the gotu kola, also too oat straw or milky oat seed can help with that as well. Now that's just because of we're talking specifically about the spine, but you would always, like I said in the beginning, you would always focus on foods to help fix the problem. Fruits, berries, and melons. You want hydration. You want astringency. You want to give the cells what they want so that they can heal or reverse these problems for you. And then the cyst on the lower spine, anytime you're talking about a cyst, you're talking about fluid, and you have to move that fluid out via lymphatic system. So that will go right back to the herbs for the kidneys that I mentioned, herbs for the adrenal glands. Now, what I left out was herbs for the lymphatic system itself. You do have herbs that are specific to the lymphatic fluid, such as red clover herb or red clover blossoms. You have calendula. You have some real powerful herbs like bloodroot and poke root. And if you want to know how to use herbs, just go and get my ebook. That is on my website. Just visit www.herbmant.com/shop. Should be going across the bottom of your screen. And those are specific to the lymph again. So cysts, and it doesn't matter where the cysts are located, because the lymphatic system is systemic. All right. It's not like, okay, you have a cyst in your lower spine, but how do you get rid of the cyst in your breast? Right? Or how do you get rid of the lump in your head? Anytime you're talking about an excess, whether it be excess hormones, too many cells accumulating in your arms, so now there's a lump, or blister, acne, whatever it is, lymphatic system, you have to get it online, you have to get it moving. And to do that, the main organ to focus on would be the kidneys. Now, another organ you would want to focus on would be your skin. What happens when you sweat? You are moving the lymphatic fluid. All right. And if you begin to oversweat or sweat in excess, you better believe you have a kidney weakness. And now your body is trying to balance out that kidney weakness by having you sweat a lot. And then if you have a kidney weakness and then you're not sweating, now you have major problems because your body has no way to eliminate this waste. Think of if you're going to the bathroom or you're attempting to go to the bathroom and you just can't, and that waste just sits and accumulates in your bowels. Think of how irritated you're going to be. Think of how you have this waste sitting in your bowels and it has nowhere to go. Can you imagine how you're going to smell after that? It won't be pleasant. It will not be pleasant. So you got to get that waste out. If not, these cells are going to become irritated and they're not going to want to function properly. So how do we get all these herbs? It depends on where you live. Again, search bulk herb store. And trust me, you'll find a ton of them if you live in the US. What is yarrow and where do I find it? Yarrow, it's a herb that can help to promote kidney function, if I'm not mistaken. It's also a bitter tonic, and it can be used to reduce bleeding, especially in the bowels. anything for high blood pressure. So whenever you're talking about fluid balance, blood pressure, blood is a fluid. You definitely want to use herbs for the kidneys and herbs for the adrenals. Some herbs that could help reduce blood pressure would be hawthorn. It could be hawthorn berry or hawthorn leaf and flower. Then also you have olive leaf that can be used to reduce high blood pressure. So herbs that, again, affect the adrenals, herbs that affect the kidneys. Then also you want to look at herbs for the lymphatic fluid as well. The lymphatic system cleanses the body on a cellular level. So it helps to eliminate your cellular as well as your metabolic waste. It cleans the blood. The spleen lymphatically cleanses the blood. The spleen is a lymphoid organ. And I think it was astragalus root that can help the spleen to function better. I got to go back and double check that. Oh, what was this one? Are these herbs safe to give someone who has previously suffered 3 brain bleeds and a stroke? My loved one is able to speak, but she doesn't have all the words back. So these herbs were bacopa, tosi, lemon balm, and ginkgo leaf. The thing about this is you want to use herbs not individually, but in combination. Now, what I would say here, you're talking about a stroke, so definitely there was a lack of blood flow going to an area at one point, but also connective tissue weakness. So the tissues were not strong enough, so somehow these vessels collapsed, right? So you definitely want to look into a parathyroid glandular to strengthen connective tissue and also work on moving waste out. So, and also too, I don't know if this person is on medication or not, because when you say safe to use, I mean, something cannot be safe and you can still consume it and survive off of it, such as the standard American diet. But based on what I know, you have to look at the contraindications of herbs. And what I know is that bacopa can be used to stimulate thyroid function. So if you have a hyperthyroid, it wouldn't be a good idea to use bacopa. And lemon balm can be used to reduce thyroid function. So if you have a hypothyroid, it wouldn't be a good idea to use lemon balm. So it depends on, what else is going on with this person. But you want to focus on promoting detoxification, getting nutrition in those fruits, berries, and melons, and then getting the waste out with herbs for the kidneys, adrenals, as well as the skin. Nothing there. Thank you. What is the best for gallstones? The best would be to change your diet to mostly fruits, berries, and melons. You can do a little bit of vegetables, but mainly fruits, berries, and melons. And then herbs for the liver. Now, I was thinking about a formula for gallstones. I don't quite remember what it was. See if I can put a lot more vote real quick. Nope, it ain't coming. I keep thinking about wild yam root for some reason, but I don't remember that formula right off. All right. How about narcolepsy? What herbs help with nerve damage? This must be not sure what video it was. All right. So what herbs help with nerve damage? So if the nerves have been damaged, of course, you want to inspire the nerves to function well again. That's going back to the skull cap as well as St. John's wort. And if the nerves are damaged, you also want to make sure you're getting the waste out. So the skull cap and the St. John's wort can help to repair or strengthen the nerve's function. And then those herbs for the lymphatic system can help to get that waste out. So the skull cap and St. John's wort can work more efficiently in repairing those nerves. And what I didn't mention before is that those fruits, berries, and melons are also electric. So any type of neurological problem you're having, you want to make sure the body is getting electricity back in it as well. And that would be those fruits, berries, and melons. Now, narcolepsy, so sleep problems. brain, neurological problems. So yeah, the skull cap and St. John's wort can help. You want to make sure you're getting blood to the brain, to the head. Rosemary is great for bringing circulation to the brain. Like I mentioned before, the ginkgo leaf and gotu kola are great for bringing circulation to the brain. But you got to focus on that pituitary gland as well. And that's the herbs that are great for the pituitary gland. Or one herb that I can think of would be chase tree berry. You maybe even want to take a look at blue lotus for the pineal gland. But you got to get oxygen going up and you got to get waste coming out. And if there's an issue with waste coming out, there is a strong chance you have some swollen lymph nodes or some lymphatic vessels that are very sluggish. And guess what? Those lymphatic vessels, those blood vessels, all contain connective tissue. So let's say a lymph node was stretched out a little bit too far. There's a chance that the connective tissue is weak. So it's always good to look into bringing balance to the thyroid, but specifically the parathyroid, honestly. And that's where that parathyroid glandular come in as well. Is that the cue?
The time is off.
All right, high five. Okay, we gonna wrap it up. So, and we gonna stop it right there. All right, thank you all for joining episode 30 of the Herb Man Tea podcast. All right, I'll be live again next week, Monday. Well, I'm not live. This is a pre-recorded show, so I'll release another I'll release another episode on next Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, if you want to support the podcast, head over to patreon.com so I can keep giving you content like this. All right. Enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, and or night. Peace. And here's the cue.
I'm feeling real good. Feeling like I never knock on wood. Studying my health, I think you should. Be a better you every day, keep it true. I'm feeling real good. Feeling like I never knock on wood. Studying my health, I think you should. Be a better you every day, keep it true. And be held accountable for everything that you do. Be surrounded by the ones that are loving you. Growing never sink unless you sinking in the shot. While you in the fourth quarter and the haters sit and watch. They don't wanna move. They wanna sit and talk, never do. Don't you worry about them, strive to improve. And when they gunning for your queen, kinda move. They don't wanna move. They wanna sit and talk, never do. Don't you worry about them, strive to improve. And when they gunning for your queen, kinda move. I'm feeling real good. Feeling like I never knock on wood. Studying my health, I think you should. Be a better you every day, keep it true. I'm feeling real good. Feeling like I never knock on wood. Studying my health, I think you should. Be a better you every day, keep it true. I'm feeling real good.